All right, you guys, so for today, we're going to be solving equations. We're not going to do this side right here, okay? But I do want us to use this to help us solve for our equations, okay? So now, the last time we went through, and remember, whenever we see parentheses, we multiply. So 3 times 1, 3 times 15. Sorry, 3 times 5 gives us 15. And then remember, whatever we don't use, we just bring it down, right? Now, the last lesson or the last review was on expressions because there's no equal sign. This one's on equations. Now, whenever we have an equal sign, we got to go through and solve for whatever the missing variable is, the missing letter. And in this case, it's the x. Okay? Now, our goal when we get to this part is we got to go work backwards. First off, I can't add these two together. One has an x, one doesn't. Next, I got to work backwards from PEMDAS to get the x by itself. Our goal is to get the x by itself. So I move this negative 15, but the only way to move it is to make it the opposite or the inverse. So we're going to make it positive 15. Okay? All right, cool. Well, hey, I still got this 3x. And then you guys have calculators, so negative 22 plus 15. My calculator's not on here. Oh, I forgot that one. Dang it. Negative 22 plus 15. Cool. Negative 7. Okay. And then from here, remember, for the most part, you're going to have the same operation. But if there's no plus sign, no minus sign, or division sign, we know it's multiplication. So the opposite of multiplying is we've got to divide. Okay? Now, from here, you guys just throw this in the calculator. Negative 7 divided by 3. So negative 2.33333. Okay? All right, cool. So again, our mission, multiply if we can, put together any like terms, and then, after that, it's really just getting the variable by itself. So here we go again. No parentheses, so no multiplication, but I can put these together. So 1 plus negative 5. So I got negative 4x. Bring down that 2. And then again, once we're in this spot, you guys, it's the same routine. Backwards from PEMDAS, the opposite of negative 2, or the inverse of negative 2, positive 2. So 6 plus 2 on this side is 8, and bring down that negative 4x. Okay? And then, hey, the opposite of multiplication, again, is division. But make sure that you don't just divide by 4. There's also a negative there, so I got to get rid of both. Do that to both sides. X equals negative 2. You guys will have your calculators for this, so please take advantage of it. Right? All right, on to the next one. Remember, pause at any time if it's going a little too quick. It's the perks of having a video to stop at any time you want. All right, well, hey, I got 5 over 9 here, and I got to multiply that by 9. Now, normally I say let's change it into a decimal, but let's not do that to this one. Let's just keep that in there, and then we'll multiply by the 9. So 5x Then we got to multiply by this one. So then next is by 27. And that's what I got. Okay. Well, same routine. I can't combine the 5x and the 15, so we might as well do the inverse now. Get x by itself. So negative 15 plus negative 15 gives me negative 30. And then again, because I know this is multiplication, we divide. So x equals negative 30. Cool. Again, parentheses, we multiply. Combine like terms if possible. And then from there, solve our equation to get x by itself. All right. Let's go through here. All right, well, hey, parentheses. Now look, you got inequalities, and remember, inequalities, we got to draw our little number line on the bottom. But if I have these symbols, we got open circles, we got closed circles. So when I'm drawing my graph, if we don't have the equal to sign underneath, we put an open circle, but if I do, then we close that circle. All right, well, hey, let's multiply out. 2 times 1, 2 times 3, bring everything else down. All right, well, hey, can't combine the 6 with the 2x, so might as well start moving things. So I got 2x. Oops. And then negative 8. Again, we're in the same position, opposite of multiplication and division. So I'm left with x. Now this is where things are really important, okay? You always want to look at the number in front of the x, the coefficient. And if it's positive, like it is now, that means my symbol will stay the same. But if it's negative, that thing's going to flip, okay? Which you will see on one of these problems. If it's a negative, I got to flip it, right? So here, that's negative 4. Cool. But in this case, again, because it was positive, I don't flip it. But if it's negative, we do. Okay. All right, well, hey, we got to start at negative 4, and it's a closed circle because of that. And if I draw an arrow out of this thing, I know my answer is to the left. Now remember, this means a lot more than just, hey, negative 4. Negative 4 is an answer, but so is negative 5, negative these numbers right here, negative 100, negative 200. But all the numbers over here on this right side are not. Okay, so there's more than one answer there. So we got x is less than or equal to negative 4, which in this case, hey, look, it's all my smaller numbers. Okay. And in this case, we got B. Although C looks like it, that one's an open circle, not the same thing. So again, if I divide by a positive number, this sign is going to stay the same. If I divide by a negative number, if the number on the bottom is negative, this one's got to flip. But in this case, it's not, so we're not flipping it. All right, and then our last one. I'm going to go back to the last page. Charlie went to 7-Eleven to purchase bags of Skittles and Hot Cheetos. In this case, though, the bags of Cheetos are $3.49 and the Skittles are $1.89. Now, the bad thing is Charlie only has 30 bucks, but he plans to buy 6 bags of Cheetos while spending the rest on Skittles without going over. Because remember, you only have 30 bucks. Can't spend more than that. All right, well, let's set this up. Write an equation to represent how many Skittles we can buy. This is my variable right here. Okay? So since it's asking for bags of Skittles, that's what I need to find. So we're going to put an X there. It says S, but you can use an X. Okay? Just because you're going to see that it's the same as above. Or everything else we've been doing. So again, it talks about Skittles. So it says Skittles were $1.89. So what this says is it's $1.89 for some amount of bag of Skittles that we don't know. Plus, we bought some Hot Cheetos, for $3.49. How many times did we buy those Cheetos, though? All right, well, let's check that out. 6 times $3.49. Hey, that's $20.94. So again, I'm buying some Skittles for $1.95 or $1.89, but we don't know how much. Plus, we bought some Cheetos for $20.94. All I know is the most I could buy or spend is 30 bucks. All right, cool. So, hey, there's your equation. Now, I want to use that equation to figure out how many bags of Skittles can I buy. Now, remember, we don't want to go over because going over would mean we're spending more money, and that's not cool. All right, well, I can't combine these two things, so let's start shifting things over to the other side. Opposite of positive is negative. So $1.89 for some amount of Skittles. I already used $20.94 for the bags of chips, though, so all that's left for me is $9.06. Okay. All right, well, in order to get rid of this, I got to divide. So 9.06 divided by 1.89. All right, well, we can buy about 4.79 bags of Skittles. But again, we can't buy partial bags of Skittles. So if I buy 5, that'll be more. That's a little too much. But if I buy less, or the amount that it says right there, that'll be perfectly fine. So the amount of Skittles we can buy is 4. And again, the reason why is because if we do too much, we won't have enough money. But if we do that amount, so not 5, but we can do 4. 4 is cool. And we're good to go.